Greetings, everyone. Dark greetings. Dark blessings. I'm good. Rainier. Saka 13. Greetings. Horrible draft choice. Horrible. I mean, that was just horrible. They reached at best. Daniel Jones was a second rounder at best. Instead, they reached and pulled him up all the way to the first round, 6th pick. For that, they could have picked Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins would have been better. What up, Joshua? Good to see you, brother. Dark greetings, brother. Dark greetings. Mario, what's good? Hello, Chantel. I'm sure you enjoyed watching Buju Banton. That must have been classic. I saw the pics. Lovely. Since all I can say, Zanset is it's a good question. Ask him that question as well. All I can say is I'm focusing on doing what I have to do, and he's focusing on what he has to do. That's all I will say. I'm sure it was fantastic, Chantel. It looked fantastic according to the pictures. It looked very fantastic. Wish I was able to go. It started out rainy this morning by about 12 o'clock, cleared up. It was 84 degrees, sunny, but humid as heck because it rained so much early in the morning. This shirt I got at Luciferian Apotheca, which is Michael W. Ford's website. He got a lot of good stuff on there, specifically dedicated towards the left-hand path, Luciferianism, Satanism, vampirism, necromancy. Check it out. A lot of good stuff on that page. Trina, what's good? Goddess within the abyss. That name just gives me chills. Greetings. Dark greetings, Goddess within the abyss. All right, I'm gonna start in a couple minutes. So let me make a couple announcements while we're waiting. We were going to have a lecture on Sunday with Rogue Titan Cosmic Serpent and myself. However, we're pushing that back to next week. We've all been very busy, so we were unable to actually go further to creating or getting the class set up for Sunday. Yeah, that Black Throne is everything. Mad expensive though, but it's everything. I would get it in a heartbeat. So, yeah, basically that's what's going on. So we're not gonna have the lecture Sunday. I might surprise y'all and do a lecture. All right, go ahead and email me that, Rainier. Definitely, I look forward to seeing that. So yeah, that's been delayed. I might do an impromptu on Sunday. Just be on the lookout. If I do, it'd be around 7:00. So just be on the lookout because we're doing it next week as the Triad of Darkness. We're going to be doing that next week. So today we'll be discussing, are you a master of your will? Individuals, I'm not sure how powerful your will is. Are you a master over it? Or are you letting other things control your life? Yeah, I did, Necrocannon. I checked it out. I'm going to check it out even further after this discussion this evening. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Next Friday I'll do another lecture. Sometime in May we're gonna have the brother Giovanni Corleone. He's gonna be discussing Luciferianism, astral projection, Merkabah, and other things of that nature. So be looking out for that. The brother, you can find him on Instagram under the name Corleone Giovanni. So we'll be having a new guest coming forth in May. If any one of y'all would ever like to do a discussion, we do it on Zoom so that you could be seen and everybody else can see you as well. Just email me at darkoccultist99@outlook.com. For anybody who's walking a left-hand path that you know that you would like to be on here, contact them. Let them know that the Dark Side Unleashed show is looking for guests to come forth so we can collab. So just let them know. All right. So that's basically the gist of it. And let's get to it. It's not really a long, detailed, informational class. It's just getting straight to the point. Are you the master of your will? First of all, what is willpower versus the will? There is a difference between the two. It is not the same. Although people kind of associate it as being the same, it's not. Willpower is simply the ability to control your mind and body, to get them to achieve goals according to your will or someone else's. Meaning, if you have the power, you have a strong will, you'll be able to control your mind and body. If not, that'll be left up to someone else. And you best believe someone else will try to control your mind and body. Okay? Willpower is self-discipline. This is something we've discussed for the last 3 months. One of the things that I feel is lacking, based upon my experience and interacting with many people, is individuals, and I'm specifically referring to individuals on the left-hand path, lack self-discipline. They do not have discipline, thus they jump around like bunny rabbits. Jump from thing to thing, this to that to that, and never really truly get any results, because before they get any result, they're already jumping somewhere else. You got to be disciplined enough to stick with it, to work through it until you get some results. And remember, you're not always going to get the results you want, but most likely you'll get the results you need. And what the results are that you need may not always correlate to what you're looking for. So do not get upset and say the ritual didn't work, when in actuality, the ritual may have worked in ways you could not have imagined. In other words, it opened up your subconscious mind. It allowed your issues and trauma and pains and programming and habitual patterns to come to the surface for you to acknowledge and focus on it, and then to start to devour them or destroy them or transmute them to give you more strength and power. And it goes by case situation. Some issues you may totally want to devour or destroy because it doesn't serve you, even if you try to transmute it. Other things, if you transmute, may serve you well if you transmute it to something to give you more power in your work, in your life, in your day-to-day situations. Determination. Are you determined enough to see something through? Or do you give up? A lot of individuals tend to give up before they see something through. That's not healthy. Okay? Because what happens is, if you're not determined to see things through, you'll never accomplish any goals, real goals, that you should have. So, are you determined enough to see things through? Perseverance. Can you persevere in the face of adversity? Can you persevere in the face of adversity? Or do you quickly fold and run? Stronger willpower allows you to achieve more difficult tasks, just as stronger muscle power allows you to lift heavier objects. Willpower is mental muscle. Willpower is mental muscle. Now, the will is your inner commander. It is basically the captain of your ship. Not shit, ship. It is the captain that governs everything. Okay? That's your will. And your will basically works with your willpower to achieve and accomplish the goals at hand. So your will is the commander. It's the captain of the cruise ship. It's the captain of your starfighter. But if your willpower is weak, then the will can only govern and enact so many things. So the focus should be on increasing the willpower and the will. We'll get to that. It is the general of your mental army, the sovereign of your inner kingdom, the deep source of motivation that compels you to act. That is what your willpower is. Okay? That is what your will and your willpower is. That's the difference between the two. Now, will over your mind. Rule your mind, or it will rule you. Horace said this many years ago. Rule your mind, or it will rule you. Tahuti mentioned that all is mind. The universe is mental. All is mind. Everything originates and begins from your mind. Now, how is your mind? Are your thoughts controlling you, or are you controlling your thoughts? Far too often, people are controlled by their thoughts. They really have no control over their thoughts. What happens then is your thoughts start to become overwhelming. They start to rule you, and then they activate your emotions. And your emotions are simply energy in motion. When your energy gets into motion, many times it cuts off your logic. It cuts off your reasoning. Thus, you end up doing dumb shit if you get emotional. You could get in a fight that could have been avoided long ago. You can get in road rage because your thoughts are ruling you. Your emotions become active. They overwhelm you. The energy gets too strong, increases, cutting off all logic or reasoning. So do you have the power to control your thoughts? Your will is what gives you the power to control your thoughts, to control your mind in your everyday existence. So, if you are really in control of your mind, your will controls your thoughts will control your actions will create your reality. Let's go over that again. If you really have strong will, your will control your thoughts will control your actions will create your reality. Yes, this is why people said actions speak louder than words. Actions do speak louder than words, because this could be running, but what are you doing? Is it matching what you're really speaking? Or are you just talking? Okay? Inner will versus outer will. Inner will is what you wish to achieve in your inner life, in your mind, your emotions, your soul. What sort of being do you wish to be? What states of consciousness do you wish to experience? Are you seeking feelings of happiness, inspiration, passion, peace, hatred, love, conquest, submission, enlightenment, endarkment? What are you seeking? Outer will is what you wish to achieve in the outer world, in your social life, your professional life, your family, your creative work, etc. What things do you wish to bring into physical existence? What do you wish to create or destroy? Where do you wish to travel? What do you wish to possess? What do you wish to know? To love, to hate, to kill? Do you have answers for any of these questions? And if you don't, maybe you need to start discovering those answers for yourself. Always remember that without struggle, no progress and no result can ever be accomplished. Every breaking of habit produces a change in the machine. G.I. Gurdjieff, might be butchering the name, said this many years ago. All right. Now, important. As a Sith, as a Luciferian, as a Satanist, as an occultist, as in whatever, if you are to become powerful, the first power you must have over is yourself. If you are to become powerful, truly powerful, your first power should be over yourself. Secondly, if you wish to become powerful over others, again, it goes back to you must be powerful over yourself. You must first realize that you have to command your inner bullcrap. You have to command all the voices in your head. You have to command all the conflict that sits within you. So stop worrying about I'm powerful and I'm gonna rule over others or master others. Bullcrap. If you can't even master yourself, you ain't gonna do much of anything. Okay? Master yourself. Command yourself. That's what it means to be a master of will. To be a master of will is to command the power to govern yourself. Not so much worried about others, it's you mastering yourself. How do you manage to master yourself? First of all, test your willpower. Test your willpower. Sith are all about challenges. On the left-hand path, it's all about challenging yourself. It's not about sissing yourself, babying yourself, making excuses, enabling your BS. It's about challenging yourself and confronting your own BS to have the power over your BS. Okay? So how do you do that? Let's say, for example, you have a favorite food. Like one of my favorites is pizza. I love me some pizza, especially New York slice pizza that is like this big, juicy, olive oil running down. Hold it up. You got to fold it. Anyways, you get the picture. So how do you challenge yourself when that's your favorite food? And how do you gain control over giving into that favorite food? Now, remember, I said we don't run from challenges. We face challenges. We confront challenges. So, I'm going to give you an example. Since I mentioned pizza because that's one of my favorite foods, go to an Italian restaurant or a pizza shop and look at the pizza. Let yourself be consumed by the pizza. Smell the pizza. Feel the pizza in your mouth. Let the pizza overtake you. And then use all your willpower not to consume it. You can walk right out and say, no, you know what? I'm going to get something that's better for me. Challenges. Challenge yourself every day. That's an example. Write down. Take inventory of what are your weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? Write them down. This is for y'all to do for yourselves. Homework. Write down all your weaknesses and then confront them. And test how far you can go without giving into it. You may fail a few times, but eventually you'll get the power over it. If you're lazy and you know you should be exercising at least 3 to 4 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, you should be exercising. Use your willpower to exercise. Don't make excuses. Don't run from it. Push it. See, it's easy for us to use our willpower to do the things we love to do. It's easy to do that. Oh, I like to do this, so I'm gonna get into this. It's easy to do that. But what about the things that you put off that you know you should be doing? Challenge yourself to do it. Challenge yourself to do it. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you one of the simplest methods to gain willpower over yourself. It's simple, but may not be simple. Meditation. Can you meditate? I don't give a damn if you're on the left-hand path, right-hand path, flip the middle path, or any other path. You should never forego your meditation. Ever. Challenge yourself to meditate. If you can't meditate for more than 5 minutes, challenge yourself to extend past that and give yourself a time limit. In the next month, I'm going to achieve meditating past 5 minutes. When you're able to have willpower over yourself to meditate, the reason why this is one of the most effective methods to gain willpower of yourself is because meditation is not as simple a task as it may always seem, and for others it is. But here's the thing. When you meditate, your mind wants to ramble everywhere. It wants to run here, go there, do this, do that, do everything, right? But your mind is constantly fighting to gain control over your willpower. Your mind's trying to distract you. So when you learn to meditate effectively, you start to gain control of your mind. When you sit in a meditative pose, whether you're doing lotus or you're sitting in a chair, your mind is going to start making your foot itch. It's going to make your face itch. Have the willpower not to scratch. See, your conscious mind is constantly trying to distract you. So don't give in to scratching. Your leg is getting numb. Try not to give into it. Gain the power over that. Use your willpower not to give in to the distractions of the conscious mind. Okay? And gain that power, that willpower not to give in to our laziness, not to give in to the excuses or the enabling that we do when we should be progressing further along than where we are. If you're too lazy to exercise, get your steps. Most phones nowadays calculate your steps, whether it's 6,000, 10,000 steps. If you can't get 6,000 steps, which is like 2.5 miles in a day, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. You may look good now, but as you get older, the goodness that you look now is going to start to alter. It's going to change. If you want to keep your figure, work it. So meditation is one of the most effective ways to gain willpower, to develop that willpower. Another way is using the power of gazing. What do I mean by gazing? Set an object in front of you. Some of you are already familiar with this through some of the classes we've done. Find an object to gaze at. Can you gaze at that object for 2 minutes straight? It sounds easy, but as many discovered, it's not that easy. Can you gaze at an object without being distracted, your focus, your eyes veering off for more than 2 minutes? If you can't do it for more than 2 minutes, you need to work at it. Because that means your mind is easily distracted and you have no power over it. Practice gazing at an object, a crystal, a statue, whatever it is. Practice gazing at it for more than 2 minutes without being distracted. Now, here's another example you could use. Walking meditation. I'm not sure if you're all familiar with walking meditation. It is something the Buddhists are adept at. Okay. I learned from Buddhists several techniques. One of them was walking meditation. Can you take calculated, measured, slower steps and be in the meditative trance as you walk? Try it. I'm not going to demonstrate it. You can look it up on your YouTube. I'm sure somebody on YouTube has a video of walking meditation. Try it. That's going to help you as well gain willpower. How do you gain willpower over your habitual behavior? How? Simple. Create a schedule for the rest of this week, coming up this week, from Sunday to next Sunday, create a schedule of things that you plan to do every day. 1, I plan to walk every day for at least 6,000 steps. 2, I plan to go to the gym 4 times this week. 3, I plan to eat salads or more greens on every plate this week. I plan to drink more water this week. I plan not to ejaculate too quickly this week. I'm just saying. Some people are loose cannons. You might have to get some discipline over that too. All right. And create a journal of your daily activities that you plan to keep and check it off if you accomplish it. Check it off if you accomplish it. All right. If you are you're loose cannon, matter as embarrassing as it is, check it. If you accomplish the goal, check it. Okay, until then, do not check anything and lie to yourself. You should have discipline over every aspect of your life. Another thing, what are your habits? What are your daily habits or just habits that you have in general? You have to start to reprogram it. First thing is identify your mental and physical habits. Do you feel like you have to watch Love and Hip Hop? Now you may say, oh, it's just enjoyment. It's still a habit. It became a habit. How do you get past habitual patterns? You start to eliminate them one by one. Focus on one first. Begin to eliminate it. Focus on one habit first, mental or physical habit, and eliminate it. That means you're going to have to use a lot of your willpower to eliminate the habitual loop that we've created in our daily lives. Okay? Another step, visualization. Visualize manifesting results by utilizing your willpower over the things we've discussed. Visualize the success. See the other side when you've actually succeeded. You have to visualize this every day. When you wake up in the morning, is the prime time to visualize the outcome of your day from the beginning to the end. And in there, as you're visualizing, as you wake up, you're visualizing your day, you should be utilizing these steps to increase willpower over yourself, your behaviors, your habitual patterns, whatever the case may be. In your visualization, you should include that in there as well. And it starts when you first wake up. Before your feet hits the ground, you should already be visualizing your day. Before your feet hits the ground, you should have an affirmation you should say to yourself every day to affirm who you are, your power, and your potential before your feet even hit the ground. All right? Now, will over your body. We discussed this. Walk, exercise. There's no excuse if you can't make it to the gym or you're not a member of a gym. If you're in an apartment complex, usually most apartment complexes has a gym in the apartment complex. No excuse. You should be able to say, I'm going to go there at least 4 times this week. I didn't say just go to the exercise room in your apartment complex and look at it. That's not going to do a damn thing. Some people are going to be slick and say, I went to the exercise room. Yeah, 4 times this week. Yeah, but did you actually exercise when you got in there? Don't be slick to yourself. This is for yourself. So did you go to the exercise room and actually exercise? If you have gym membership, did you go to the gym and actually exercise? If not, did you go to the park or some walking trail and actually walk? If you're not able to do that, there's still no excuse. You could be in your home and you could do squats and lunges in your home. You could do dips, arm dips in your home. At the edge of a sofa like that or whatever, you can sit at the edge and do dips. It's no excuse. All right? One of the most important is will over society. Your willpower over society. This world that we live in today is basically suited for mind control, enslavement of the person, the individual. And they use various means to get there. They use memes, products, trends, news, social media, etc., etc., etc. They spend billions of dollars to create mental zombies. Billions of dollars to create mental zombies. And it's going to happen again in, what are we in? April? What is it? April. In 7 months, we will see the mass control that that is utilized over people when Black Friday hits. You'll see it. And you may actually have been involved in a Black Friday. Mass mind control. Oh, and it's only gonna get ramped up or amped up for the rest of the year. We just passed Easter, sales everywhere. Products advertised, buy this, dealerships. You'll get 6,000 off if you buy a car this weekend. All this mind control. All to keep you within the matrix. Keep your mind within the matrix. Stop watching so much damn television. Stop with all these reality shows that are not really real. Stop with all this Lifetime network. Keep you in a depressed emotional state. The Lifetime network serves to create depression and emotional swings in individuals. Then you start lashing out on your partner as if your partner is actually the individual in the movie. No. Chill out with the television so much. Find other constructive things to do. Overcome the habit of television. That doesn't mean you got to cut it off altogether. That just means eliminate. If you watch it 6 hours every day, cut it down to 4. Eventually cut it down to 2. Minimize it. You understand? If you have a drug and alcohol addiction, your willpower is weaker than weak. You have to find means and ways to activate your willpower to overcome the drugs. A true Sith is sharp of mind and utilizes the power of their mind for everything, including having dependency on external things. If that's your thing, then let it be your thing. I'm not speaking to those who are going to make excuses for that being their thing. So be it. Get off the internet. The internet is the beautiful home of the web, the World Wide Web, the Matrix at its best. Get off the internet and stop being there so much. Reduce the time you're on the internet. So keep those things in mind as you go forward. Your will is your inner commander. It is the captain of your ship. The willpower is your will using willpower to have mastery over the things in your life. Are you a master of your will? That was the purpose of discussion this evening, was to discover in this process to ask yourself, are you truly a master of your will? That doesn't mean that anybody is above another if your will is less than another. It just means we all have work to do. I'm including myself in the work to do. Okay? There is no exception to the rule. Just because I'm talking doesn't mean I still don't have things I must master. Because if I already mastered them, you best believe I wouldn't be on here. I would have been done something else and doing something else with my life. I'm here because I'm also on the path with you all, walking this path, just sharing years of experience to help us all progress and move along to be masters over self. What is, according to Osho said it best, what is the biggest threat to the world power? It's not groups, it's not societies, organizations, it's not religious groups, it's none of that. The biggest threat to world power is those individuals who have mastered self. That is the biggest threat to world powers that exist today. They can control groups. It's easy to control groups because I could easily infiltrate a group and cause dissension within a group. This is why so many of our groups and organizations have not lasted to today. They've all been torn down mostly from within. Why it's able to be torn down is because I come in as a voice of dissension. You have an issue you've not mastered, and that issue is going to take hold and cause more rift within the group. And then I'm going to get somebody else on my side, and then there's a split on this side. This is why when people try to promote we need to unite and come together as a group, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you have not mastered yourself first as an individual, so that when you do come into the group, you don't let your BS come into the group situation, the group dynamics, and drop a poison in there because you ain't mastered your own BS. The greatest threat to society is a master of self, because you don't have a sheep mentality. You're not into the herd. You don't follow the fads. You don't follow the media and the TV and other news like herd mentality, where you easily get riled up and emotional. You don't easily sway emotionally on things like that. You maintain in harmonious power over yourself. Understand the difference when it comes to this, because what happens a lot of times is that people are torn apart because they never took the time to master themselves. And people will say, yeah, but when we were, let's say in Africa, we were all united. Bullshit. That's another lie that people are convincing themselves of. There was rival tribes for thousands of years there. And they brought you over here to the West. Some of the intermixing took place between the tribes, but the conflict still resides within your DNA. Sometimes you ever wonder why you don't get along with somebody no matter what? You just don't feel them. Period. You just like, yo, I don't know this person from anything. I just don't feel them. That's conflict that still resides in your DNA from thousands of years ago, from our different homelands that over here now we're all in a melting pot. The conflict resides within us and it comes out. But we don't understand that. We want to be in the conscious coon mentality. We're all from Kemet. My left nut is not from Kemet. My right nut may be from Kemet, but my left nut may not be from Kemet. Cut that crap out too. We're not all from there. Okay? Cut it out. We're vast people from different places. If you're from European extract, you may have descendancy that goes back to Eastern Europe and you're not just completely a Western European. You may be Eastern European. And there could be conflict between you and Eastern Europeans, and you never understood why. It's all about mastering self. Because when these things rise to the surface, if you've done work on yourself, you've done the work in the darkness, you've gone to the void, you've gone to the abyss of your subconscious, you now have master over the things that have weakened you for so long. You don't give into those things no more. You just maintain still, calm, cool, and collected, and not easily agitated. But we have to really understand these things if we're gonna master ourselves. We have to really start to understand this. Ravana, I did this ritual, I did that ritual, I did that. It's great. But what was your ritual for? Was your ritual to collect $1,000? That's good if you get the $1,000. But what about if the ritual also open up another can of worms? What happens then? What about if it opened up that subconscious mind and now things come to the surface? How you have abandonment issues. How you don't like to be ignored. How you like attention. Because of your abandonment issues, you need all the attention in the world. You become an attention whore. What about that happens in a ritual? Because you do realize if you're walking the left-hand path, that is the number one goal of the left-hand path, is not so much to make contact with demons, which are really residing within the psyche. The goal is to confront your own personal demons that are in your psyche that have wreaked havoc on your life all these years. To then be that master over those things. And then when you overcome all these blockages, obstacles, and all these things that have surfaced for so many years, guess what happens naturally? That $1,000 doubles and triples and comes into your life because there's no more blockages and obstacles that are stopping you from receiving that. You've dealt with your BS. So what is one of the most effective ways to do that? Well, some of my peoples that we do Thursday night Vampyre class, void meditation. One of the most effective ways to tap into that part of yourself is to do the void meditation. Another one, mirror rituals. Using the mirror to travel into your subconscious mind. Mirror rituals are very effective. Use them. Create your own mirror rituals. Use it to tap in. All right, so soul therapy tarot. Okay, I have a question. So is it our DNA to be racist? Is that why they hate? Okay. Racism comes from fear. fear of something that's different than you. And it can pass, it becomes a conditioned process within us. For example, if your family, let's say, or another individual's family had fear of another ethnic group, racial group, or things of that nature. We fear because we don't understand, or we don't know them, or we're not used to them. So we fear their differences. Those fears then become ignorant attitudes and beliefs about another group. If your parents or grandparents had that belief, it can pass into you. And it's also socially programmed into you from your childhood by listening to your parents, great grandparents, etc., etc., etc. So racism can be passed through our DNA. But that doesn't mean you have to be like your parents. That doesn't mean you have to be like your parents, grandparents, or anything else, because essentially you are the sovereign ruler over yourself. So you do have the power to overcome that racist belief or attitudes or mentalities. You have the power to overcome that. So we don't have to be like everybody else. We don't have to give into that. See, one of the things that we do on the left-hand path is even address our racist attitudes, our prejudice attitudes, our homophobias, or anything else. You should overcome all of that crap. All of that crap you should have overcome. If you're still homophobic walking the left-hand path, you may not need to be walking the left-hand path. Because on the left-hand path, you're going to deal with a lot of androgynous archetypes. You're going to deal with archetypes that are more transgendered. You're going to deal with archetypes that seem to be bisexual. And if you can't deal with that, you may not need to walk this path. Straight up. Okay? Because if you can't confront those issues within yourself, maybe you might have an inkling that you're trying to bury deep inside you that you are actually attracted to those things. Just saying. You can, okay, I'm gonna give you an example of how things can come from a past life into this life. Some people I've done past life readings for, okay? And they took a vow of poverty in a past life. And then they struggled in this life financially all their life, even though they had the greatest inventions or concepts or ideas on how to succeed financially, it just seemed to elude them. Sometimes it comes from the fact that you have past life residue passing into this life, and you have taken a vow of poverty in a past life because you were a monk, a nun, or something like that, and it passed into this life. So you have to break that vow. There's ways to discover that, and that's past life readings, which I do as well. But yes, it can pass into this life. And here's what's even funnier about that Saka 13 Kyoto. The conscious community members are very homophobic, the brother says, right? And it's pathetic. It is. The conscious community claims to be so conscious, yet they are the most, at times, can be very prejudiced, very discriminating, very hateful individuals. Though they, listen, consciousness is becoming more aware. Your awareness should open your mind, not close it even more. They're closing their minds off even more than expanding their consciousness, breaking borders, boundaries, and limitations. They're actually creating more borders, boundaries, and limitations. Stupid as can be, but it is done. Now, if you gain conscious awareness over self, okay, then one of the things that should start happening as you travel deeper into your subconscious is you face the attitudes that you have about homophobia, about different racial groups and things like that. You start to face it and you'll start to discover where the roots and origin come from, and then you could attack it and overcome it. So some of these conscious individuals, so-called conscious individuals, they're not that as conscious as they think, have a problem with homophobia, or they're homophobic. And everything is a tirade on homosexuals. Yet, their ignorant ass does not even research the Dagara tribe in West Africa, which comes from Burkina Faso, which is north of Ghana. They don't investigate the Dogon fully. They don't investigate the Zulu of South Africa and the various hundreds of tribes in Africa who believe in two spirits, meaning that you could be a man and possess a female spirit in your body, or you could be a female with a masculine spirit in your body and have two spirits, which would make you a gatekeeper to open the gates for the spiritual realm to let things in and out. So what happens if you take individuals away from their purpose, their spiritual purpose, then you create a subset group that seems to be abnormal to the ignorant mind. Okay? So when you really understand that fact, the purpose and the power of what a homosexual, a lesbian, a bisexual, transgender really is, they're a spirit within a gendered body, meaning they are the opposite spirit within a gendered body, masculine with a female spirit, female with a masculine spirit. But people cannot understand this because they have homophobia, which a lot of times your fear of what the person outside of yourself is really comes from the fact that it dwells within you and you're trying to suppress it by every which means possible. So the only thing you could do to suppress it is to hate instead of dealing with your own homosexual tendencies. Stupid, real ignorant people, but they're conscious. You hear the contradiction of this shit, right? They're conscious. If anybody checked out Credo Mutua, right, and he tell you about his initiations and different things like that, he tells you how he did certain things that were homosexual in nature. And it wasn't looked upon as evil or degrading or bad in his tribe. The shamans here in the West, okay? In Native American, certain tribes have the two-spirit teachings. Many of the shamans, if they were men, wore female clothes during rituals, acknowledging the masculine and feminine. It exists within you already, so what's the problem? What is the problem? So, yes, that homophobic mentality of the conscious community, they claim that in Africa we didn't have this, that. We were just pure alpha males, masculine. Listen, fool. Go do your real research, not this conscious research, which is half-ass research. Go do full scholastic research or academic research, which is verified not by one person who just did the research. It's verified by your peer group, meaning your peer group checks your information, checks your data, okay? Your information based upon your studies and the data that came from it, and is verified by multiple peer group members and checked and verified as being solid scientifically. But no, we want to throw and quote shit that might not be totally verified, but other than by one person. Anyway, so the real homophobic mentality that seeped into the conscious community, you really want to know where that comes into? They'll claim that they're so anti whatever and white supremacy, this and this and that. But a lot of that mentality sounds like some of the European groups saying the same shit. So who's really what? Who's really who? Y'all two sides of the same coin acting like dumb fools. Black supremacy, white supremacy. Two sides of the same coin doing the same shit. Dumbness. Don't even realize that. Oh, we were so supreme. We did this, that. The other side, we were so supreme. We did this, that. At the end of the day, you still got to survive here, fool. You still got to have a means to survive here. Okay, don't be so conscious and so pro this, but your ass living in your mom's basement at 45 years old. And don't make the excuse, mama needs my help, because your mama probably got buku bank. She got her own job, got her own everything. If she's still with her husband, your dad, they good. They just feel sorry for your dumb ass because you want to be so extra that you don't get up off your ass and create a job or get a job to start providing for yourself. But you want to be a god, or you want to be a king, peace queen, peace god. Your ass is broke in the basement. Please get up out the basement, get a damn job, create a job, do something, and stop teaching the same rhetoric over and over and over. Do something. All right. So, in a nutshell, you got to have the willpower to overcome even all of your hangups, sexual hangups, religious hangups, society hangups, all these things you got to overcome it. And stop putting people in a box. Stop thinking that women are supposed to be one way and men are supposed to be another way. This life is fluid. You should be able to fluctuate back and forth. Stop it. Stop putting people in a cubbyhole. All right? Just because your woman looks good as hell and your ass is a simp, you scared that your woman might leave your ass when she realizes you're a simp. So you do everything to suppress her and keep her under control. Meanwhile, real dudes are talking to her, respecting her, attracted to her. Don't think your ass ain't gonna be left eventually, fool. You will be left. Because your ass want to try to control her. Let her express herself. Let her express herself financially. The next fool that tells me that a woman should make less than a man is a goddamn fool I would love to slap. All right? My wife and me do not care who's making the bank. Me or her or me. Whoever got the money, got the money. That, so be it. Why is this a race between people, a marathon? Oh, I'm making more. So as a man, I got to make more than my wife. Why? Because you feel you could dictate more shit in a relationship because you making more money? Dude, is you that fucking fragile that you got to try to even control the finances flowing into the house? Straight beta males trying to act like they really alpha males. You ain't no alpha because the alpha ain't not threatened by another female and how much money she making, if she make more or not. You still got yours. You still in control of your sovereign rulership. Anyways. But it happens. Quite often it happens. You'd be surprised. The stuff I hear, the stuff I see, the information that people email me, cut it out. All right? It's unbelievable. I get random emails from people who probably watch one video who ain't really down trying to agitate, trying to start something. I just give them one simple answer. You to God. Goodbye. You don't have to agree with anything I'm saying. Please do not agree with everything I'm saying because that means you think for yourself. If you agree with a lot of what I'm saying, that means we're like-minded. We're rolling together. That's all it means. It doesn't mean you worship or I don't worship you. You don't worship me. There's only one thing I worship in this life. And I will not say it with my perverted ass. All right, whatever. Let's keep it moving. Exactly, Demetrius. A lot of these Israelites are goddamn fools. Looking like the goddamn Isley brothers trying to be alpha males, but really they're sissies. Dressed like Isley brothers in 2019. It's unbelievable, son. Shit is just ridiculous. Orlando has the most broke Israelites I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen them all. From New York to Hartford to Atlanta to here. These are the most broke ones in Orlando I ever seen. Look like they got their guard from Walmart. They went to a costume shop or went to Walmart and got some damn costumes. How the hell do you go to a Halloween shop and buy a garb of Joseph, let's say, and pass it off like that's some Hebrew Israelite shit because you put your patch on there? I don't understand, y'all. Just somebody, please break it down for me. How the hell you do that? This is the worst broke. Anyways, that's another story. All right. So let's get into see what comments or questions people may have. I know I got a little hyped up this evening, but sometimes I got to let things out. And that's me. I let it out. That's right. You're either controlled or be controlled, as Rainier Rain says it. You're either controlled or be controlled. I've said this. I think you go back 3 years, 4 years on my videos, and I always have said you're either a master or a servant in this world. You're either a master or a servant in this world. I choose and have chosen years ago to be the master. I am not a servant to nothing or no one. And if I find myself going into the position of being a servant, I will quickly eliminate that, so I no longer have that servant mentality if it arises. Screw that. Everything is a manifestation of your thoughts. That's correct, Necrocannon. Everything emanates and begins from your thoughts. So sharpen your thoughts. Sharpen your thoughts. That's right, Rainier Rains. Create energies, even servitors, etc., to work for you and not against you. Will 9323, this is my notes. There's like a notebook I have with a bunch of information that I study and I put together. This particular information, Sith information, that I put together from various sources of my own studies.